Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyper Roll from Mission for Tuition. It's called Mission for Tuition because we're trying to raise money for our son's middle and high school tuition. He has to go to a ridiculously expensive special school, and we make money from the views, not donations, nothing like that. So like, comment, subscribe, because that all helps the YouTube algorithm get the video out to more people, so the ads are seen by more people, and we make more money for tuition. And with that said, let's get started. And one of my general tips for TFT is to always find out what the mutant augment is, especially this season, because mutant is so strong, but you're not necessarily going to go for it unless you get a sign from the game that, hey, you should be heading in the mutant direction. Another tip I tell people is to always buy out the first board and hope that you can find out from a combination of the augments, the items, and the champions that you have access to what build you're going to go for. Now, this game was annoyingly non-committal. Gave me a Talon as an NPC and then augments that just didn't really work. I end up choosing Weak Spot because it's pretty much the only thing I can think of in the moment that will work. Mercenary was not going to work. Stand United, I didn't have a big plan to go forward, so I just two-starred the champions I could so I could put up an early decent game and then hope it's all going to become clearer as I go. And the one thing I hate about thumbnail images is if you clicked on the thumbnail for this or looked at it, you know exactly where this is going. But as you're watching this, you're probably wondering, how the heck is it going to get there? And that's part of the fun of the video, is at this point I had no clue what this build was going to be. Now here's where I had the wackadoodle idea. I saw the second bow and decided, you know what? I can make an RFC on Talon. And last season, that was a really good item for him. Now I have not found assassins to be strong this season, but this was a chance to at least try something out and see how it goes. Given that I had Weak Spot, I felt it was a good time to try and see if there was some way to put together an assassin build. It's not as simple as last season where you could just form into Syndicate Assassins. It's also more difficult because there aren't 6 assassins. You need an emblem to get to 6, so you have to work around different ways of getting there. Now at this moment, despite the fact I'm winning, the build is really nothing. I need to find a direction for it, and the game just gave me a clue. It handed me a Leona. That means I can now put together the Debonair trait, and I can pair it along with Assassin. I generally don't like Debonair until you get Leona, because she's going to be your only real tank. Now also, since I've kind of set up Talon to be the carry, I couldn't take that brand that went by, because you're only allowed to have one VIP champ, and once you pick one up, you don't get another. So had I picked up the brand, I wouldn't have had a chance to get the Talon VIP until I sold the brand. My goal here now is to do a Talon VIP assassin build, so I need to wait for Talon. And since I feel like I'm headed in the assassin direction, the sparring glove is the clear choice because it's going to allow you to make the Infinity Edge, the Last Whisper, and the items you need. Now there's the VIP Talon I'm looking for. As the VIP, his bleeds are going to double in length and also turn into true damage instead of magic damage. That's going to be very important. But I can't just put him in yet unless I want to sell the other one to change the item over, so I'm stuck kind of waiting with the team in this position until I can find an additional Talon. This is where the Debonair trait becomes really tricky to me, because you're not necessarily wanting to sell off champs that you have that are going to build into something good, but you're also going to be sacrificing matches like this that you might have been able to win if you had the VIP in. Luckily, it's early and we're not losing much health, so we can survive this. The key is going to be the augments, and we get a Debonair heart, which is going to give us an additional Debonair, so now we have a chance of taking it up to 7, which will give an immense more amount of power. It also gives us an additional Talon, so we're getting a little bit closer to actually creating a gold Talon, which is what I think we're going to need in order for this to win. We throw the Frozen Heart onto Echo because that is just a fantastic item for him since he's going to jump into the back line. He can slow Carrie's attacks, and we just go up to the 4 Assassins so we can get our maximum buff from Assassin. Now keep your eye on Echo, because that's the absolute key here. Notice that he is slowing down the sniper's attacks. Ashe has a Rage Blade that she's not able to power up because Echo's nearby, and it allows the rest of my team to surround them and ultimately win. And we'll jump you past the NPC stuff and just go straight to here. Notice I'm rolling a lot. It's because I have a 40% chance to roll 2s and I want as many talents as possible. Also creating the Sunfire Cape on Leona. She is my sole tank right now, but that will help keep them a little bit weaker so that my assassins can get in and hopefully finish them all off. And I know I'm ultimately going to need Gary's help on this because most of the team is really pretty squishy. Once Leona goes down, the rest of the team is pretty much going to just fall apart. If you're going to run Assassins this season, you need a frontline plan, which is probably going to revolve around Leona and building out the bodyguards. But like I said, I knew I would need Gary's help in this one, and these items just come right together, which I will show you after we go through the augment I needed. I decide to go with high 5 and hope that there's a zeri in here. Come on, Gary, give me a zeri. Yep, there she is, right between Galio and Jinx. And that's going to enable me to go up to the 5 Debonair, which means I don't have to worry as much about my tank issues right now. You just have to be careful when transferring Tahm Kench that you don't accidentally feed your champions to Tahm Kench. We're going to go with the Infinity Edge Last Whisperer combo onto Talon, which along with Weak Spot is going to allow him to cut through people very, very quickly. With the boost up to the 5 Debonairs, Leona is going to be a little bit tankier because her shield is going to be bigger due to the increased ability power. It's also going to make Talon stronger, and as you can see, he is just ripping through things and finishing off teams pretty quickly. And while I'm in a good position, this team still feels kind of weak to me, and it's because I don't have anything I can really reach to. To go to the 7 Debonairs, I'd need Brand and Draven, and they just don't fit into this build. I'm more likely to head into trying to turn Tahm Kench and Braum into frontliners. And the other problem is I have no way to go to 6 Assassins, so I'm not going to be able to max out any of my traits. Well, I could, but it would weaken the team overall. I decide to trade out Nocturne for Kha'Zix since he's a stronger champion and bring Braum in to give my frontline a little more power. But I'm really searching right now for the talons I need to finish this off. And you might be asking why I'm ignoring the Dravens, because Draven is better than Syndra, but I'm using Syndra as someone who can throw people away from my tanks and into the backline where my assassins are. At this point, I just want to tank up Braum a little bit and give Zeri some items that make her more powerful. But the real hunt here is for that last Talon to turn him into gold, and that is proving rather elusive right now. Again, though, keep your eye on Echo. He keeps Ashe from speeding up because she would have torn this team apart, but he stays there long enough to allow Zeri to get in the shots that take her down. And that is why I say that Frozen Heart is a key item on Echo, because thanks to that, we are into the top 4. And Gary's being very stingy right now as all the rolls in the world has not gotten me a Talon yet. But luckily, this team is strong enough, especially with Zeri attacking from the outside, to take people down. The items are absolutely key for Talon to weaken everyone. For our final item, I want Zeri casting as much as possible. You see how powerful she is when she does it, so blue buff it is, so that she can get powered up, but I'm still looking for my Talon. I sell everything that I absolutely don't need and roll in the hopes that I can find it, but it's just not there yet. I can feed Tahm Kench to himself and he'll gain a little extra health, and hopefully that will keep us going. But I know in my heart I'm going to need that gold Talon if I have a chance of winning, especially against a team like this who is syndicated snipers, which, as we know, is very, very strong. So their zeri is powered up more than my zeri, even without items, because she's additionally getting the sniper buff. So even though mine's powered with Debonair, theirs is going to be stronger. So all I can do is ask Gary to help me out, please. Thank you, Gary. That's what I needed. Again, items, augments, champions. In this case, it had to be champions. Without a 3-star gold Talon, I don't think there was a way to win this. I am also now keeping Talon paired with Echo so that I make sure that when he attacks, he's going to be attacking targets that are not hitting back quickly. Luckily, we get to play the non-playing character, so to speak, and it's one that I know we can beat because we've done it before, even without the 3-star Talon. Their Galio is strong, but not quite able to stand up to the amount of damage that the assassins can put down. And Gary has one more gift for me as I get my 2-star zeri, and it's us against the Syndicate Sniper Enchanter team. Now, luckily, they're relying on Enchanter, which is going to give me a good shot since I'm doing physical damage and not magical damage. We feed Tom Kench, and I'm splitting this up so that my assassins are going to jump right. Again, I'm keeping Talon with Echo, and my tanks are going to try to hold them on left. Luckily, they kept Ashe exactly where she needed to be. Echo can slow her down, and Talon can tear her apart. Meanwhile, zeri is just able to do a lot of damage from the outside, and this one is actually very close because they're a very tanky team. But Syndra is able to fling for the win, and it's a GG to everyone. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going for this unless you get the clear sign from the games, but it does actually work. Hope you enjoyed the video and have an absolutely, absolutely awesome day.